Hello and welcome to Encore's weekly film show. Coming up, The Salvation, a Danish twist on the American Western with Mads Mikkelsen, Eva Green and Eric Cantona. He's back and he's beefier than ever. Hercules, the adventurer, the warrior and the demigod returns to the big screen. And an ageing actor falling apart. Al Pacino tells France 24 how he identified with his character in The Humbling at the Venice Film Festival. And for all that, I'm joined by France 24's film critic Lisa Nesselson. Lisa, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Now, we're going to start with a film that's called The Salvation. Now, if you say Danish Western to me, it's not going to get me running to the cinema. Sell it to us.
Well, Danes happened to help settle and build America. This movie is set in the 1870s, and if the opening reel of The Salvation doesn't grab you, then you're probably the sort of person who stands there twiddling their thumbs when the lava from an active volcano is right around their feet. It's very exciting. As I said, Danes helped settle America. In this case, national Danish treasure Mads Mikkelsen plays a settler who has been separated from his wife and son for 7 years. They are joining him on the train, and then something goes horribly wrong. Even a pacifist would probably say he has the right to sort of object. Let's take a look.
Where's my brother?
Mr. Delarue, I can assure you, it ain't nobody from around here.
I will give you 2 hours to find the man that did this.
That's impossible.
Or you bring me 2 of your people. I underestimated you, soldier. That ain't gonna happen again.
And apparently it's a film with a mix of brains and guns. Is that a successful combination?
In my humble opinion, it most definitely is. According to the director who got his start in the dogma movement with people like Lars von Trier, there are at least 70 references, winks and nods to previous Westerns, but I think you can enjoy it even if you're not aware of any of that stuff.
And Eva Green doesn't say very much, does she?
No, not since the engines cut out her tongue, but she glowers. She glowers magnificently. I think it is the mark of a fine actress if you can picture them being in silent movies. And Eva Green has the goods to do that, I think.
Okay, moving on to a completely different sort of film now. When I say Hercules to you, what do you think of?
What do I think of? I think of a fabulous story that stood the test of time in the public domain, and I think of a synonym for incredible strength. Now, this new movie stars one Dwayne Johnson, who used to be known as The Rock, and I think I have one of his relatives here from the movie. That's how they do it in films.
Luckily, I've got super fat power as well. The blockbuster Hercules is hitting the big screen here in France. Films about myths and legends have seen a surge in popularity in recent years since the success of Ridley Scott's epic Gladiator in 2000. France 24's Thomas Waterhouse takes a look now at why films like Hercules have got us hooked once again.
He's back. And this time, he's beefier than ever. Hercules the adventurer, the warrior, and the demigod. The great legend of his 12 labours has been retold through the centuries in art and literature. It's therefore no wonder he's become a cult hero of the big screen. This is what he looked like back in 1958. But 2014's Hercules is state-of-the-art, spectacularly putting the bite back into a genre that had fallen out of favour for some 30 years.
We've reached a point where there's a thirst for fantasy, so we go searching for ideas in the imaginary, in the exotic, in antiquity. We're also at the point where special effects allow, in a much more credible way, for these mythical creatures to come to life on screen.
Historical dramas were born alongside cinema. Using mythology, antiquity, or the Bible as their inspiration, hundreds of them were produced during the 1950s. Some were box office flops, others became classics of this golden age of film. Like 1963's Cleopatra, starring Elizabeth Taylor. Today's mythical epics, while staying true to this aesthetic, have also taken inspiration from the success of the superhero genre.
Hercules was the world's first superhero. Being the son of Zeus and then becoming powerful. But before that, the most important thing he can be is just himself, and when he's himself, he's just a man.
Like many historical films, this Hercules takes certain liberties with the myth. But nevertheless, with his well-oiled muscles, he'll no doubt knock you for 6.
Why does Hercules keep coming back, Lisa? Is it because we like hunks on the big screen?
That's probably part of it, and scantily clad hunks who are often in this position. I come from Chicago, where the wardrobe these guys used isn't really practical. Also, I think until Wonder Woman came along, Hercules was the best shorthand we had for incredible strength and wisdom. And what else can I say? He must have a really good publicist, because here we are thousands of years later still talking about him.
Totally. Well, there's lots of hunks at the Venice Film Festival, which is going on at the moment. Lots of big talents on the red carpet. Among them is Al Pacino. He stars in Barry Levinson's film The Humbling, based on a novel by Philip Roth about an aging actor meeting a younger girl who changes his life. Franz Van Cat has been speaking to the star and filmmaker in Venice. Tomorrow we'll have the full interview, but here's a taster.
You should come in.
I don't know, I don't think I'm dressed for it.
Yeah, but guess what? You don't even have to be afraid to swim because I'm a lifeguard. Certified. I could save your life.
You already have. I was very pleased with the book because it had a wonderful idea of an actor. A little bit Philip Roth wrote it as though the actor had writer's block. Actors have different kind of a thing that they go through. I like the idea of that world because I know that world. I did stage all my life, and I saw the comedy in it also. I saw the fragile comedy, and that inspired me. So I called Barry Levinson, who's done both drama and comedy, and he felt similar to me about this idea.
Al read the book, thought it was interesting, loved the idea of the character. He said to me, read it, see what you think. And I agree with him. I thought it was a great character, and I think that's what excited us, was the idea of a character, an actor in crises, toward the latter part of his life, and how we can play that out in tragic comedy terms.
How's Emily?
She's good. She misses Amy.
I miss her. Who's Amy?
Our other cat. We had to separate them when I left.
Poor things.
Now, Lisa, every time Al Pacino makes a film, it's a bit of an event, isn't it?
It is for me, and it should be for most people interested in good acting. If he had only ever done, say, The Godfather, Serpico, and Dog Day Afternoon, his career would be assured. But I think it's terrific that he's finding roles that still interest him. And any movie by Barry Levinson is also an event. And Greta Gerwig, the tall woman in the pool, is there for younger people.
Okay, well, you can see more of our Al Pacino interview in tomorrow's show. Now, to another festival now, where France puts American cinema in the spotlight. The Deauville Film Festival kicks off on the 5th of September. It's the 40th anniversary this year. You've been going for more than 20 years. Tell us what your highlight has been in that time.
This will be my 21st, and I guess if you do anything for 2 decades, even like working in a coal mine or digging ditches, you're bound to build some positive memories. I have quite a few. I spoke a few weeks ago about the incredibly funny press conference the late Robin Williams gave in 1999. I also had the privilege of interviewing Billy Crystal, who was almost as funny. Robert Altman, a great hero of mine, had declared that if George Bush was elected president, he was going to leave the United States. A lot of people said that. As far as I know, he's the only one who really did and came and worked in Europe for a few years. Got to interview him. For the 25th anniversary, they assembled a lot of what was surviving members of the old Hollywood guard. And so there was Mickey Rooney and Sid Charisse. And I remember glimpsing Kirk Douglas and Lauren Bacall in the lobby of one of the big luxury hotels, just sort of looking at each other, and it was wonderful to observe from far away. I wouldn't have broken into that moment for anything.
And what about this year, the 40th anniversary? What are you looking forward to?
Well, what am I looking forward to? They're going to conduct tributes to the actress Jessica Chastain, the actor Ray Liotta, comedian Will Ferrell, producer Brian Grazer, and director John McTiernan. Mick Jagger is expected for a visit, the noted American Mick Jagger, because he's a co-producer of the James Brown biopic Get It On Up. I should point out that the opening night film is Woody Allen's Magic in the Moonlight, starring Colin Firth and Emma Stone, and I think that's a rather delightful movie. And Deauville is only a 2-hour train ride from Paris, and it's very much open to the general public, so if you're in the vicinity, give it a try. It's from September 5th to the 14th.
And one of the highlights we can look forward to is you next week, reporting live from there in our show, telling us what the highlights and what some of the good moments have been this year. So we look forward to that. Okay, well, the original Die Hard is being re-released. We're going to leave you with that. Remember, there's more on our website, Facebook and Twitter. More news coming up after this on France 24.
It's Christmas Eve in L.A.
California.
Is Daddy coming home soon?
Well, we'll see what Santa and Mommy can do, okay?
And New York cop John McClane has come to see his wife.
I missed you.
Instead, he's going to have to save her.
Sit down. Only John can drive somebody that crazy.
He's an easy guy to like.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
And a hard man to kill.